There are 10 habits that will completely turn your life around so that by the end of the year you will be unrecognizable. Most men walk through life completely unsatisfied with themselves, and every time they look in the mirror, they hate who they see staring back at them. This can lead to low confidence, low self-esteem, and a bad self-image. So how do you become that guy who is always sure of himself, always exudes confidence, and people are naturally attracted to him? Well, by the end of this video, we'll have 10 habits that you need to start implementing in 2025 to make you into that man. For each habit, I will also offer you actionable step-by-step advice to make it as easy for you as possible. Number 1, the mirror technique. Now this is the most important point from the whole list because the first step is always the most important one. And I want you to do this right as soon as you stop watching this video. I want you to look at yourself in the mirror. What do you see? Do you see the confident, successful, and attractive man that you wish yourself to become? Does it make you angry or upset to see the person staring back at you? And do you feel like you're perhaps not at that stage yet at which you would like to be? How can you get there? I want you to note down 10 things that you do not have that your dream self does. 10 things is the minimum. You can do more if you want, but unless you do this step, you will not have a sense of direction. So I mean it. Once you're done with this video, go to the mirror and do the mirror technique. And once you have that list of 10 things, it's time to return and set up a system that will ensure that you get there and that you achieve your dreams. Number 2 is to set goals. So you have those 10 points, right? How do you ensure that you stay on course and that you do not give up after a week or two? Well, you need to set up goals, because once you have your ideas put on pen and paper, it's much easier to visualize them and to work towards them than if all the ideas are simply scrambled inside your head. So just go to Notion and use the template that I have laid in the description. You can find it for free. And the way you use this template is just fill out the table with the goals that you have personally, and right next to it you'll see a percentage, and that's how far away you are from the goal. I want you to update that percentage regularly. It's much easier to achieve your goals if you split them into smaller, realistic, easier to reach milestones. Now, I cannot know for sure what goals you have for 2025, because maybe you want to be a bodybuilding, rugged fisherman living alone in Scotland. But what I can do is tell you what the most common things that a man should strive for are, the things that I'm working on myself, and the ones that I personally believe that all men should master. Number 3 is working towards your purpose, and that can be either a job, a career, or maybe even your side business. How does it make you feel when I ask the following question? What is your purpose? Now, if you lit up with enthusiasm and wanted to speak to me about it for half an hour, then we are on the right path. If instead you have a pit in your stomach, then this point is for you. As Marcus Aurelius once said, a person who doesn't know their purpose doesn't know who they are. And there are basically 2 ways of working towards your purpose. One, it can be your full-time career. Most of us do not have our day-to-day job correlate with our goal in life. So what you can do instead is work on it in your free time. Instead of sitting by the TV and eating chips and cola and watching some stupid movie on Netflix, why don't you take 2-3 hours every single day after work to work towards your purpose? I know it can be hard, and I know you are extremely tired after work, but trust me, it's worth it. So how exactly do you find your purpose? Just think about what you would see yourself doing every single day for 10-20 years, even if that meant you were not paid for it. This is my purpose. It's helping young men, and men of all ages actually, improve their style and become more gentlemanly. I've been doing it for almost 2 years now, and I just got monetized 2 months ago, so for all this time I've been doing it for free. But when you do something that you are actually passionate about, it does not matter that you're not earning money from it. The second most important thing that a man should do after working towards his purpose is working on his body. And that's point number 4. Working out, taking care of your body. The absolute truth is that there is only one thing in life that will give you the most confidence. And no, it's not money, it's not achievements, it's not style, it's not face, it's not anything like that. It's your body. Your body is the biggest factor in determining how you will perceive yourself. It is extremely important to be proud of your body. Let's visualize it with the following exercise. How do you feel when you're talking to a guy who is 6'2", muscular, and confident in himself? Maybe you are a bit intimidated by him. Now, how do you feel when you're talking to Paul Blart, the mall cop? A guy in his 50s with a belly, who's balding, who doesn't take care of himself? Now, I don't think anyone will be intimidated by him, under the right circumstances, of course. Now, there's 4 main things you should know when it comes to working out. The first one is you need to figure out whether you should be bulking or whether you should be cutting. As a man, if your body fat is over 20% or maybe even 15%, depending on who you ask, you should be cutting because it means you are either fat or skinny fat. If, however, your body fat is under 15% or even 20%, then you should be bulking. The second thing, of course, is actually working out. And at least 3 days per week is the minimum you should be heading for. I would even suggest 4 to 5 times a week if you can afford it, but if you only go 3 times, then a split like push-pull legs works for most people. Third of all is sleep. Yes, sleep can actually determine how well you build muscle. You will not reach your dream body in less than 2, maybe even 3 years. That's fact. But there are things you can work on that will give you immediate results that you can see and that can make you more confident and that can lead you towards becoming the version of yourself you want to be much faster than that. Number 4 is finding your style. And you really do not have any more time to waste with this one because over the past 5 years, communities have started forming online of men who are into the classic style, into the old money style, men who see the value of dressing up and looking presentable like a successful, powerful, masculine man. And because so many men started improving in this area, you really do not want to be left behind. So, how do you go about finding your style? Well, old me would have probably told you to pick one out of the following categories. 1. Business casual, business formal, or smart casual. That's pretty average advice. I want you to do better than that. So what you should do instead of style, focus on finding an aesthetic that works for you. And my favorite aesthetics to go for are dark academia, old money, preppy, British countryside, vintage. There's so many you could choose for. And once you have chosen 1, 2, maybe even 3 that you would like to implement into your day-to-day wardrobe, what you should do next is go over to Pinterest. Pinterest is such an amazing place to find different outfits, inspiration for different combinations that you can try yourself. And what I want you to do is go over to Pinterest and search old money outfits men. Or you can even be more specific. Cricket sweater outfits man, gray suit outfits man, club collar outfits man. The ideas and the outfits you like the most, you can save them under a board, and Pinterest will recommend you even more ideas in those categories. Or the third thing you can do is you can go down in the description and you can check out the boards that I have made for different aesthetics. Now, they're still pretty empty, but I'm updating them regularly, so you can definitely check that out if you want. Okay, so now you're actively taking care of your body and of your image. But I do not want you to become a superficial man, because there are things more important in this life. So point number 6 is broadening your mind. A wise man learns from his mistakes. A wiser man learns from the mistakes of other people. And what's the easiest way to learn from mistakes that other people make? 2025 is the year in which you should really start reading books. I mean it. Last year I've read, I think, about 15 books. I know it's not a lot. This year I've challenged myself to increase that number and to read 20, maybe even 25 books. Whether you want to read fiction or non-fiction, that's entirely up to you. So you could be reading James Bond or The Godfather. Or on the other hand, you can be reading How to Win Friends and Influence People or Rich Dad Poor Dad. It really doesn't matter as long as you are reading. And if you are reading non-fiction, how do you make sure that the ideas you're reading stick in your mind? Well, the easiest way to do it, and what I myself am doing, is taking notes. You can do this online or you can do it in a physical notepad. Grab a pen. It can be a Mont Blanc fountain pen if you wish, and note down the main ideas that you're reading in the book. I do not want you to write down exactly what you're reading. So for example, if in 5 pages the author says that the main points of charisma are warmth, power, and presence, that's all you should write. Charisma consists of warmth, presence, and power. Just the main ideas. And I do not want to hear that excuse, I don't have money to buy books, because with the next point, you will never have that excuse again that you don't have money to buy something. Point number 6 is to start investing. The best time to start investing was 10 years ago. The second best time to start investing is today. Now, I want you to guess 2 numbers from me. What percentage of Americans do you think has less than $1,000 saved up? What about 10,000? What percentage of Americans do you think has more than $10,000 saved up? 69% for less than 1,000 and 15% for more than 10,000. I do not claim to be an investment guru, but what I can tell you is what I am doing myself and what's working and what I would be recommending you to do as well. So do not take this as investment advice, take it as personal advice of what I am doing. Now, first of all, think of a monthly sum of money that you wouldn't mind investing every single month. It shouldn't be lower than 10% of your salary. 2/3 of that money should go into a savings account. And the final third of that money should go into an investment account. If you're in America, you could use a pension fund. I would do that as well. If not, just use a normal investment account. Now, as for what you should be investing in, I cannot recommend the S&P 500 enough. It's the safest bet you have, and it will offer you a return of 10% per year. And as for the platform, I've been using Trading 212, and it hasn't let me down so far. So now your finances are slowly building up. Let's make sure that you do not lose all the progress that you have made so far. Number 8 is creating systems and routines. Goals, they are great, but you know what's even more important than goals? Is making sure you hit them by implementing some systems into your life and routines that you can check day after day. They're really what keeps you going. Systems will help you become more resilient because failure is part of the game. Yes, you will fail. We all do every now and then. Maybe it's a rainy, cold morning outside, the sun hasn't even come up, and you do not feel like going to the gym. You will have days in which you will relapse to your old behaviors. And that's totally fine. If you have systems, if you have routines, if you have ways of sticking to the plan, it doesn't matter if sometimes you will miss the mark. Most people overestimate what they can do in a year, but everyone drastically underestimates what they can do in 10. Number 9 is learning a new skill. Here is another question that can either make you extremely hyped and feel like you want to talk about it for an hour straight, or will leave another empty pit inside of your stomach. And I would really love to know which one of those two is, so let me know down in the description. My question is, what hobbies and skills do you have? Do you love to play an instrument? Can you cook? Perhaps you know 2 or 3 foreign languages. It really goes beyond saying that such hobbies and skills are extremely attractive to anyone who might be interested in you. But let's not get stuck on that, because it will not only make you more attractive, but it will also make you more attracted to life. It will make life seem a lot beautiful when there are things that you desperately enjoy doing. Once you break through the monotony of sleeping, working, and eating all day, start doing something that you actually enjoy in your free time, and life will simply become more beautiful. Finding new hobbies, skills, or passions can simply make you more obsessed with life and improve its quality. This year, I decided to stop procrastinating and finally start writing fiction. It's something I've been planning to do for the longest time. In addition to that, I also decided to start painting this year. And while I may not have the best start in the world, I know that with enough time and perseverance, I will get better at it. And so will you. Now, let's put it all together. All that we've talked about so far, let's put it together with number 10. And that is updating your self-image. There are 10 steps in this list for a reason, because there's 11 months left in this year. And by December, you should do this final step. But it can also become a regular habit that you do every single month. It totally depends on you. And without this one, nothing you have done so far actually matters. The good part about it is that you actually already know it, because it's the mirror technique. At the end of those 10 months, I want you to come back to the mirror and look at yourself. Internalize all the progress you have made and visualize the changes. It really does not matter that you have achieved your dream body, that you can go to the beach and you can be extremely muscular and toned and all the women stare at you. It doesn't matter if inside of your own mind you are still that scrawny little kid who's unconfident and too shy to even look at someone else. Our self-image truly is the most important thing. It's why ugly guys can always talk to beautiful women without a problem, and why morons have so much confidence in themselves and speaking even if they're wrong 99% of the time, because inside their mind they're not doubting themselves. It's time to update that self-image you have. The current one is outdated, and you, my friend, are an amazing gentleman that can do whatever he sets his mind upon. Starting today, I want you to start implementing those 10 habits every single day of the year. And next December, on the 1st of December, I want you to come back here and update me with your progress. Who knows, maybe next year, by this point, I can even do another video and feature success stories and maybe even feature yours. If you want to start acting like the main character of your life and not like an NPC, check this video out next.